We are live. Greetings, everyone. I bring you warm greetings here, Jefferson City, Missouri, USA. My brothers and sisters, wherever you are, those in Nigeria or those in diaspora like myself, I say warm greetings and welcome to Constitution Tuesday. Nigerian Constitution and You're Right. That is the name of this show. The next name of the program, once again, is Nigerian Constitution and You're Right, or you can say Nigerian Constitution, Know You're Right. It is powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, or 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, or 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. All right. I bring you a wonderful topic. What are the powers of a president and governors in Nigeria? What are the powers of a president or the president and the governors in Nigeria? So basically, in a nutshell, we're talking about the executive powers of the executive branch of the government of Nigeria. If you have been following the show, you know that we completed a series of the fundamental rights of Nigerians. After we completed that series, we switched the gear into a new series covering, or we can say we went back all the way to chapter 1 of the Constitution, covering the structure of government, the powers of different branches of government. The branch is the judicial. Okay. The preamble of the Constitution, and we talked about the preamble of the Constitution and the vision of the nation today, and we went and this week we're going to focus on executive powers. And guess what? After executive power, we go to judicial powers the following week. All right. And to dissect the executive powers, I have the wonderful barrister who you all know and have Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello to Nigerians and introduce yourself.
Yeah, good evening, good day, fellow Nigerians, wherever you're listening to us from. My name is Joseph Ntembo Bajo. I'm a legal practitioner practicing here in Nigeria and also the Secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association, Makode Branch, Benue State, Nigeria. Thank you very much for having me, Doctor.
It's always good to have you here. Thank you very much, and for always accepting our request to join us at the studio. And today we are going to discuss what are the powers of the president and what are the powers of the governor in Nigeria as prescribed by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 amended. Okay? That is going to be the focus of the go in you section, ask question as the conversation, be shut out. You are welcome because the more you are engaged, then the more you take out of the program, you can learn more by the end of the show. Okay, so keep commenting and also share the link to this show on whatever platform you're listening from, whether it's Facebook, whether YouTube, or whether Twitter. So share, and join in the conversation. All right, over to you, Barrister. We're talking about the executive power. So,
Yes.
and there's something that always, whenever I think about executive powers, I always have this question about. I do understand that executives implement the laws made by the legislative branch of government or the legislatures. In Nigerian case, the National Assembly. So, but does the executive also have powers to make law? Like, for example, you hear about executive orders. So the question is, does the executive have the power to make law? And then two, what is the difference between executive order and a law or the act of the National Assembly? Oh man, I think the barrister is having connection problem. So I don't know. I will take a quick break, and hopefully by the end of the break, the barrister have joined the show.
Invitation. Principals and proprietors of public and secondary schools in Nigeria are hereby invited to register 2 of their students for the first national quiz competition on the Nigerian Constitution for secondary schools in Nigeria. Commencement date 1st October 2022. Deadline for registration 15th August 2022. Registration fee free. Venue virtual. Prizes to be won by the 6 best schools include millions of naira, laptops, copies of the Nigerian Constitution, and lots more. Please request a free application form by sending an email to write.gcsdn@gmail.com or gcsdn@gcsdn.org. You cannot stand for your rights if you don't know your rights.
This project is powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN, and the Rescue Me Now Data and Media Limited.
Signed, Dr. Edmond Iken, Project Administrator.
Yeah, we took a quick break while we connected online. So welcome back to Barrister. And I asked 2 questions. Take it one at a time. The first question, after the first question, I'll ask the second, then I'll ask the second question. The question is, does the branch of government, like the president and the government, have any power to make?
Yes. By the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 5 gives power to the executive, that is, the federal, both at the federal level, in the hands of the president, to administer same through his commission, through his ministers or any of his appointees heading any of the ministerial agencies or commission. So at that level, and that power is to see to the implementation of any law made by the National Assembly. So the executive, by and large, is to carry out do the implementation uh, of all the laws made by the National Assembly. So, as to whether the executive can make law, no, the powers to make law does not reside in the executive. That power by the Constitution resides in the legislature pursuant to Section 4 of the Constitution. However, uh, in certain quarters, I mean, in certain cases where the president can, or the president or the governor uh, can, I mean, is faced with certain confronted with certain issues which he may perceive to 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 be affecting the development of the nation. Uh, of course, he can issue such an executive order, and that is why the word remains executive order, meaning it is via an executive authority or an executive fiat, an authority of the governor, of the president, to for people to do certain things, just for certain situations not to arise. That is why he can do that. So it does not lie in the powers of the executive to make law. Those things are just matters of administration, I mean administrative convenience for the purpose of effective governance, as the case may be. They are never law. Executive orders they are never laws, because the laws are those that are made by the National Assembly or the various houses of assembly of a state, or the National Assembly, as I earlier stated. So the duty of the executive is to make sure that those laws that are made by the National Assembly are enforced. The executive does not make power. Does not make law.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful explanation. When you started explaining this question, or you started answering the question, you pointed out or you mentioned that, yeah, the executive branch of government in the federal level being handled by the president, that he has the power to implement the laws made by the National Assembly, either directly by himself or herself, or via the vice president, or via the ministers or
Yes.
appointees. Okay.
Yes.
So in case whereby the president himself is implementing this law, or minister, if uh, if he implements the law wrongly, what should happen? What happens next when the president implements the law the way it's not supposed to implement it? Next action. So,
Executive implements or enforce the law made by give life to the dead letters given to us by law from the National Assembly or by the National Assembly. So the duty of the president or the governor or the vice president or any of the ministers is to enforce those laws or implement those laws according to the philosophy, according to the spirit, according to the meanings of those laws. The president or the minister or the vice president, as the case may be, and in the case of the governor or the deputy governor or the commissioner or any of the appointees saddled with the responsibility to implement those laws, is not supposed to go contrary to what the law said. If they do, if they do, and such is going to occasion an injury or will lead to a miscarriage of justice, as the case may be, or may result to arbitrariness, then it is the duty of any concerned citizen to take out an originating summons in court challenging the authority of the governor, of the president, or the vice president, or the minister, that look, this is what the law said. And Of course, the originating summons before the court will be that yes, the court, can you interpret these particular provisions of the law? Now, can you look at what the president is doing, or the vice president is doing, or the commissioner is doing? If it is contrary to the provisions of the law, then make appropriate directives or declaration that such action or step taken by the president is contrary, and same should be declared null and void. That is that. So the president is Alpha and the Omega, because through the other arms of government, because the essence of democracy is their choice of a guarantee essence of it.
Okay, thank you very much. So you did mention that if, in response to my question, that what should we do next if the president did not implement the law accurately? You said we can sue the president, or we can take the matter to the court and have the court interpret it. So now, that brings me to another question. Is it an individual that is saddled with the responsibility of taking the matter to the court, or is it have to be an organized civil group, or organized civil society, or organized group of people, or a single individual can actually take on that responsibility to approach the court?
Well, it can be a single individual. It can be a civil society group. It could be some concerned citizen. It could be a professional body like the Nigerian Bar Association. And I give you a practical example. You recall that a couple of months ago, the Federal Ministry, the Attorney General of the Federation, unilaterally wanted to amend the rules of professional conduct. And the Nigerian Bar Association said, no, you as the minister, you cannot just sit there and do that, because you have gone contrary to the Legal Practitioners Act of 2004. And the Nigerian Bar Association went to court challenging that action of the minister. So a professional association can take up that. A concerned citizen, an individual, and even a corporate organization can equally do that, because what we are talking about is what is going to affect the rights of people if it is not done properly. And just to mention quickly also that it may not also be that the president is implementing the law wrongly. It could also be that the president is not doing that which the law provides him or has mandated him to do. And citizens can as well go to court to say, no, we can take up a writ of what we call in law a writ of mandamus, a compelling order that, look, you have to perform your constitutional duty. You have, because this is what the law has asked you to do and you are not doing it. So it's not that when the president is implementing the law wrongly, if he is not doing that which he's supposed to do, citizens can also do that. And you and I know that Ganifa Emi of the blessed memory, Femi Falana, a host of many lawyers in the country, Olisa Agbakoba and the rest of them, have taken the federal government to court on several occasions to compel the federal government to do certain things. So it has no restriction. Individual, civil society groups, professional association, corporate organization, political parties association, and not anybody can go to court to challenge the arbitrariness or the failure of government to do certain things provided by law.
Thank you very much. You gave a clear response to that question. Once again, I will tell my audience, please share this video, comment, like, ask questions, and the good barrister is always eager to answer any question. And this show is for you, my fellow Nigerians, for you to come out here, listen to the explanation of the various parts of the Constitution, and ask questions about the thing that is bothering you or the things that you don't understand about laws, about this is an opportunity for you to come here, type your question, just type it. It's not going to take too much of your time, and an answer will be provided during this show. Okay, so that is that. Barrister Joseph, when you were answering my last question, you actually preempted my next question. So the question that I already have a question in mind, that was part of the question, but I guess I'll ask it right away. You said that it's not only when the president misinterpret the law or has implemented, who can actually, so the question in that line or in the line of the protection, the primary aim of government and that this current as individual or civil society move to ask that the president be removed or to ask the president to do what he needs to, what the law has prescribed. And why hasn't that happened? Or those that have or those that have taken action, why hasn't the National Assembly listened? Why did they have to wait like last week to declare that they want to? Why this discrepancy?
Well, the network, I don't know whether it's from my end, is breaking, but if I hear your question clearly, you are asking me to throw light as to why the Constitution has provided, or if the law has provided for all of this, why have the National Assembly waited this long to call the president to order? I believe that is your question.
Yes. Yes, that's part of the question. The other part of the question is why haven't people actually demanded, why haven't individuals or civil society demanded that the National Assembly take action? So that is two parts. Why haven't individuals or civil society demanded the National Assembly to take action? And then why did it take this long for the National Assembly to seem to want to take action?
Well, it's quite disturbing that we live in a country where people, should I say, know their rights, but sometimes don't want to speak out, perhaps for certain reasons. And sometimes you wouldn't blame them because the country is not quite secure, and maybe because this is a country that has no respect for human rights and the rule of law. So fear has been sent in the spine of people, and sometimes people are just afraid to speak out. So maybe that could be the one. That could be one of the reasons. Fear. The the non-implementation or the non-existence of rule of law in Nigeria is another thing, because just like you and I know, Karl Marx defined law, which is the best definition of law to me, is an instrument in the hands of the bourgeoisie to suppress the peasants, and another person defined it to say law is an ass. It is the direction you beat it that it will go. So those who have the control of the instrument of law oftentimes use it against the weaker people. So those are some of the reasons why people who are ordinarily scared. So now to the National Assembly, it's quite unfortunate that when you don't have a dissenting voice, people just assume that all is normal. but it's quite unfortunate. But what the National Assembly is supposed to do is to always maintain their dissenting position on issues of governance where the executive is going wrong or going contrary. Quite unfortunate, we have a National Assembly that is so romantic with the executive, and not until when the insecurity began to stare them closely in the face that they now began to see that no, we have to wake up, we have to sit up, we have to, before we started hearing these issues of impeachment and all of that. But look at the construction of section 188 of the Constitution that clearly provides for the powers of the National Assembly to impeach the president. And the subsection 11 of that 188 is clear that the president can be impeached on issues of gross misconduct. And gross misconduct is not given any definition. So if the president has failed in providing security in line with section 14 of the Constitution, it amounts to gross misconduct. If the economy is not working, it amounts to gross misconduct and all of that. But they chose to keep quiet. They chose to be mute. And that's because you have, like I said, you have a leadership of the National Assembly that enjoys the same political party with the executive. That's why we see that romanticism. So we have a National Assembly that, with due respect, is weak. It does not have a dissenting voice, and he is not more on the side of the people. He's more or less on the side of the executive, and it's quite disturbing. So there is fear, there is apathy, there is loss of confidence in the nation, and people have just chosen to sit and watch. Quite disturbing, Dr. Ike.
It is truly quite disturbing, and that is why we hope for the better as Nigerians. As you mentioned earlier, that one of the reasons why the individual haven't taken action or civil society haven't taken action is possibly because of fear. So I appeal to my fellow Nigerians to move past the realm of fear, move past the place of fear, because if we remain afraid, we'll live in a country that will be to be like we do not belong to it. This is not our country. So you want to live in a country and feel like this is my country. I'm happy to be here. This is home. I'm proud to be this place, and I'm proud to be a member and citizens of this society. So, and to achieve that and to get to that place, we have to get past our fear. Fear is natural. It's natural to be afraid, but it's important to rise up above your fear and take necessary action. Because if you don't rise above your fear, you will never take necessary action. And we need to act. And what the action we need to take is to make sure we become engaged in our political process. You know, some people were like me, the previous me before 2015. I was disengaged in politics or political engagement. I always think, oh, politics is a dirty game. I don't want to involve myself in it, so I'm not going to do anything or do myself with politics. But that is not supposed to be so. You don't have to be a politician to be politically engaged. I am not a politician. I do not belong to any political party in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. But nonetheless, I am politically active. So my fellow Nigerians become politically active so that you can know when your leaders are not doing right and know how to hold them responsible. And because when you do such things, when you hold them responsible, then we'll have a chance. We'll have a chance to elect better leaders. We'll have a chance to hold our leaders accountable. Because if we begin to actively hold our leaders accountable, then they start knowing that, okay, we need to sit up. If we want to be leaders, we'll have to do the right thing. Because if we don't do the right thing, these people are going to take us out of power. These people are going to replace us with the right people. So they're going to become the right people for us. So and that's what I have to say. I was going to read the segment of the Constitution today, but in summary, it is all about the executive powers of in the federal level, the president and his deputy, or that's the vice president and the ministers. And at the state level, it's about the governor and his deputy and his commissioners. So for some reason I can access it right now, so I'm going to skip that for today, and I will give the floor to the good barrister to give a closing remark, because we've hit 30 minutes marker, so that we can close this show today. Over to the barrister. What's your closing remark to Nigerians? You unmute yourself.
Okay. We have come to that point where we are confronted with so many challenges as a people, as a country, and it's only together that we can fight it. I go with the Yoruba song, and I want to leave you with that song that said, "This Nigeria belongs to all of us." No sojourn can be like home, and for Nigeria to move forward is for me to lift it, you to lift it, and all of us to lift it together. I quite appreciate those of you who are in the diaspora, but are quite concerned about what is happening in Nigeria. And for us back at home, we'll continue to support your work, your good work, and continue to add our quota. So let's rise up as a people and correct these anomalies towards as we approach 2023. Let's get all our PVCs and get ready to vote and vote wisely.
Thank you very much. As you were speaking, I finally had access to the Constitution. So I'm just going to read the extract, what's apportioned to the federal government and the state government. It says, subject to the provision of this Constitution, the executive powers of the Federation shall be vested in the President and may, subject as aforesaid, and to the provision of any law made by the National Assembly, be exercised by him either directly or through the Vice President and ministers of the government of the Federation or officers in public service of the Federation. So, shall extend the executive to the execution and maintenance of this Constitution, all laws made by the National Assembly, and to all matters with respect with which the National Assembly has, for the time being, powers to make laws. All right, so let's see the state level. Okay, so the state governor shall have powers execution and maintenance of this Constitution, all laws made by the House of Assembly. You know, in the state government, state House of Assembly. House of Assembly has the power to make this law and shall be exercised. I'm having an issue here, so let's leave now. But you get the gist, as I say, it's just a summary. And I had one comment while I was saying that, only one comment today. Rita, hi people, hi Rita. Thank you for joining us today. And we're about to end this show today. Next Tuesday will be a pre-recorded show, and but the guest was going to be the good barrister Joseph Hendo Bagio. So he's going to be with me. We're going to pre-record the show right about now. When we end this live broadcast, we'll pre-record the show for next week, and we're going to be focused on judicial powers. Okay, so join us next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, and 3 p.m. US Central Time, or 4 p.m. US Eastern Time. And we'll continue the conversation in every other platform where you watch this, whether Facebook, YouTube, on Instagram, or Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Thank you once again for being part of us, and we want you to keep coming back and continue the conversation. Learn, and teach your neighbor and your family to can be engaged and better citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much, good barrister, and I will see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Yeah.